será hecho directamente por parte del señor Morand. Yo soy Sara Marinelli de Corporate. Voy a traducir este training en español y entonces estamos listos para empezar. El señor Morand creo que está con nosotros. Mr. Shane, are you there?
I'm here. Can you hear me okay?
I hear you perfectly.
All right.
Okay.
Well, good evening, everyone. Hola, ¿cómo está?
Buonasera a tutti, buenas tardes a todos.
Hey, everyone. How's it going? I hope everyone's happy. Everyone's feliz.
Espera, dice que todo el mundo esté bien y que todo el mundo sea feliz.
All right. So this call is going to be specifically to show distributors how to go diamond, assuming that you're starting today with nothing, how to go diamond within a 6-month period.
Dice, esta llamada es un training específico para explicar cómo llegar a ser diamante en 6 meses, cuando supuestamente tú empiezas hoy. Y entonces son 6 meses a partir de hoy.
I will be reviewing with everyone tonight on the call a specific formula, exactly step by step, on how to go diamond within 6 months.
Dice que en esa llamada irá analizando la fórmula específica, paso después de paso, para ver cómo llegar a ser diamantes en 6 meses.
All right, so let's get started here. We're going to start off with a concept to make sure everyone understands. I would recommend that you grab a pen and a piece of paper, but I'm going to go over some basic concepts to lay the foundation, and then we're going to build on the formula.
Dice que empezará con algunos conceptos basilares, entonces recomienda a todo el mundo que tomáis notas, que tenéis un bolígrafo y papel, porque luego a partir de los conceptos de base va a desarrollar los más específicos.
What you're looking on the page here is the very, very basics of ORGANO, and it's an absolute must to understand what is a consultant. And a consultant is you with one on the right, one on the left, and all 3 are active, okay?
Dice que el concepto que estáis viendo en esa en esa pantalla es un concepto basilar de ORGANO y que todo el mundo tendría que saber, y es como ser consultor, y entonces eres tú con 2 personas a tu izquierda y tu derecha, y los 3 tenéis que estar activos.
Okay, so on a piece of paper, if you have a pen and a piece of paper, I would highly advise you to write this down, to put a circle, that's you, and 1 on the right, 1 on the left, and that particular configuration, if everyone is active, means that person is a consultant, a qualified consultant.
Dice que recomienda de escribir en la hoja de papel, hacer estos 3 círculos. Uno eres tú directo a la izquierda y uno tú directo a la derecha. Y cuando los 3 vais a estar activos, eso te permite de llegar a ser consultor.
You can have 20 people on the right and 0 people on the left, and you would not be a qualified consultant.
Dice que podéis tener 20 personas en la derecha, pero ninguna en la izquierda, y así no podéis ser consultor.
Okay, so it's very, very important as a basic foundation that everyone understands what a consultant is. That means 1 person sponsors 1 on the right, minimum 1 on the left, everybody's active, and you would be a qualified consultant. So if you understand that, I want you to write in the chat box C.
Y entonces dice, esto es un concepto basilar y por el que, entonces, si tú tienes un directo a la izquierda y uno a la derecha y los 3 estáis activos, sois un consultor. Si entendéis este concepto, tenéis que escribir sí en la chat.
Okay, so I understand now there's a lot of people on this call that understand English because they were saying sí long before you had finished the explanation.
Dice que entiende que muchas personas aquí entienden inglés porque han empezado a escribir sí antes de que yo traduciera la cosa.
Okay, for those that are speaking English as well, welcome to the call, and I'm excited that you're here, that you've joined in on us. This is the call primarily for Spanish-speaking distributors, but if you can understand English and Spanish, you're going to get to hear the whole thing twice.
Dice que da el bienvenido a todas las personas también que hablan inglés, aunque esta call ha sido planeada específicamente para los españoles, pero dice, si entendéis los 2, inglés y español, vais a tener los conceptos 2 veces, lo vais a entender aún mejor.
Awesome, awesome. Welcome to the UK and also to Spain, of course, and welcome to Kuala Lumpur in the house and wherever you're calling in from. I see we've got some Italians on the line as well from Verona. Welcome to the call, everyone.
Dice bienvenidos a todos de Inglaterra, de Kuala Lumpur, de Italia. Buenas tardes a todos.
Lima, Peru in the house. Lima, Peru in the house. Okay. Here's the concept. Okay, here's the concept. If you want to go diamond in 6 months, this is what you need to be thinking about. The next slide is going to show you what you need to be thinking about.
Dice que si queréis llegar a ser diamantes en 6 meses, eso es el concepto sobre el que tenéis que pensar. Este es el concepto que tenéis que pensar.
You would sponsor 20 distributors on the right-hand side and 20 distributors on the left, okay? 20 over a 6-month period. If you're serious about going diamond, you've got to get this in your head. 20 on the right, 20 on the left.
Si de verdad queréis llegar a ser diamantes en 6 meses, este es el concepto fundamental, o sea, patrocinar personalmente 20 personas en tu equipo izquierdo y 20 personas en tu equipo derecho.
Okay, well, what do you mean? I thought you said I had to sponsor one on the right, one on the left. Yeah, that's to qualify as a consultant. But what we're talking about on this call is how to go diamond in 6 months. In order for you to go diamond in 6 months, it's going to take all out massive action. 20 on the right, 20 on the left, and I'm going to go through the formula with you tonight.
Dice que antes ha hablado del concepto de patrocinar una persona a la derecha y una a la izquierda, pero esto es para ser consultor. Para llegar a ser diamante, que vais a necesitar un trabajo mucho más complejo, tenéis que tener 20 patrocinados a la izquierda y 20 a la derecha.
We have Romania, I see in the house. We've got Italy. We've got Belgium. We've got everyone except where's our people from Spain, man? Where's the Spanish people in this
Dice,
room?
tenemos muchas personas de Bélgica, de Italia, de Rumania, pero ¿dónde están las personas de España?
Come on, Spain, you guys got to make some noise or we're going to have all these other countries coming in to eat your lunch.
Dice, todos los españoles tienen que hacer un poco de ruido porque la mayoría son otros, no son españoles.
Hola, come on, get your Spanish friends on the call. Okay, so here's the thing. Here's the question. In your community, are there 20 or let's call it 40 people in your community, 40 people that want to earn more money and want to drink a coffee that makes them feel good?
Esta, dice, es la cuestión. En vuestro propio círculo social, ¿hay por lo menos 40 personas que quieren cambiar su propia situación económica y beber un café saludable?
And can you reach these 40 people within the next 6 months? If you're serious about going diamond, this is the formula.
Y la fórmula es esta, o sea que tenéis que alcanzar a estas 40 personas en los próximos 6 meses. Si de verdad queréis ser diamantes.
Here's what's going to happen. I'm going to show you, this is a science. This is not guesswork. I'm going to show you what happens when you sponsor your first 20 distributors. When you sponsor, I'm going to show you what's going to happen. First of all, 6 to 8 are going to quit.
Dice que esto es lo que va a pasar y esto es algo cierto. Cuando vais a patrocinar las 20 personas, de estas 20, de 6 a 8 no van a continuar.
Okay, I don't know why they're going to quit. That's what quitters do. They just quit. Okay, so I'm not going to study, and we're not going to go into the study of why people quit, but you've got to know that when people get started, sometimes they're going to quit. That is normal, and that's a reality of the business.
Dice, no vamos a investigar sobre por qué las personas dejan, pero esto es así. Y entonces, estas personas, los que empiezan de 6 a 8, seguro que lo van a dejar. Y eso es así.
Okay, and so quitters normally quit, and this is a formula that of 20 that you sponsor, 6 to 8 are going to quit. Okay, so I want you to write this down. And so the next time someone calls you and says, I'm going to quit, I want you to celebrate because you'll know the plan is working.
Dice que quiere que vais a escribir, vais a anotaros esto en el papel porque esta es la fórmula. Así que cuando de estas 20 personas la primera os llamará para decir, mira, yo lo dejo, no sé qué, porque por cualquier razón, vosotros sabéis que esta entonces es la fórmula que funciona porque ha pasado lo que te había dicho.
Okay. The next 6 to 8 are going to incubate. What does it mean? It means they're just not going to do anything. They're going to sit there. Maybe they have the skill sets. Maybe they have the talent. Maybe they're going to tell you all kinds of stories, but they're going to do nothing. So out of your 20, 6 to 8 are going to quit, and 6 to 8 are going to incubate.
Entonces, de estas 20 personas, luego hay de 6 a 8 personas que van a incubar, o sea, que están ahí sin hacer nada. No lo dejan, pero tampoco hacen nada. Ahí están.
Okay, and so let me talk to you about how to deal with incubators. And some of you on this call, I see your names. Some of you are incubators yourself, so you know who you are. And some of you are building teams, and you have incubators, meaning they're not moving, they're not engaging, they're not doing anything. But let me show you how to work with incubators.
Y entonces os voy a explicar ahora cómo trabajar con los que incuban, porque seguro que en esa cola hay algunos de vosotros que están incubando o hay alguien que se está construyendo su propio team y tiene dentro de ese team algunos que incuban. Y os lo voy a explicar.
Never, 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 ever pressure an incubator.
Nunca tenéis que presionar, pero nunca a un incubador. Nunca.
Don't pressure the incubator.
No tenéis que presionarle al
Okay, if you
incubador.
pressure an incubator, they're going to quit.
Porque si lo vais a presionar, van a dejarlo.
Okay, but do not invest any time, zero time with incubators, or you will become an incubator.
Y sobre todo no tenéis que invertir vuestro tiempo con los que incuban, porque si lo hacéis vais a llegar vosotros a ser los que incuban.
Okay, so very, very important. What you do with an incubator, you keep in touch in terms of maybe you send them an email, maybe you send them the odd text message. Hey, we're having a meeting. Hey, there's a webinar. Hey, there's a conference call. You keep in touch with them, but do not invest any time with an incubator, or you will become an incubator yourself.
Lo que podéis hacer con los que incuban es enviarle un mensaje o un mail diciéndole, mira, hay este meeting, hay esta webinar, pero no vais a perder tiempo con ellos porque si no, vosotros mismos os vais a convertir en incubadores.
Here's the cool part about incubators. Some of the top income earners in the world of Organo were incubators for 3, 4, 5 months. They were incubators. They weren't ready, but when they got ready and when they went big. So don't pressure an incubator, but understand that incubators could build very, very large businesses.
La cosa de los que incuban es que, por ejemplo, en Organo, los que ganan más dinero han sido a su tiempo incubadores para 3 o 4 meses, porque ellos no hacen nada, pero en el momento en el que deciden de hacer algo, pueden llegar a hacer algo muy, muy grande. Y entonces no lo presionáis.
So here's the next one. Out of the 20, 6 to 8 are going to quit, 6 to 8 are going to incubate, but 6 to 8 are going to engage. 6 to 8 are going to follow the 4 questions. They're going to follow the 4 steps. They're going to start they're going to start doing their coffee mixers. They're going to start building their business.
Y entonces lo siguiente, después de los que lo van a dejar, los que van a incubar, hay de 6 a 8 personas de las 20 que habéis patrocinado que se van a comprometer. O sea, ellos van a hacer los 4 pasos, van a organizar coffee mixer, van a trabajar seriamente, se van a comprometer.
This is where you want to spend 80% of your time is with the people that are engaged, that they're moving, they're going somewhere. They're not sitting there complaining. They don't have time. They're building their business.
Y estas son las personas con las que tenéis que gastar vuestro tiempo, por lo menos el 80%, porque son los que van a trabajar, que no están ahí sentados sin hacer nada, son los que trabajan realmente.
This is where the fun is. This is where your business gets fun, when you find your 6 to 8 people that are engaged in the business.
Y esta es la parte divertida del business, o sea, cuando vais a encontrar estas 6 o 8 personas que se comprometen.
Okay, and also these are the 6 to 8 people. They will continue even if you quit.
Y de estas 6 o 8 personas tenéis que tener a mente que van a continuar aunque vosotros lo vais a dejar.
Okay, now here's another part. Of the 20, the first 20 that you sign up, 2 to 4 are going to build big. 2 to 4 are going to say, I'm not going for diamond, I'm going for blue and black diamond and crown diamond. I want to go crown ambassador. So 2 to 4 of your 20 are going to build big, big, big businesses.
Y lo siguiente, último, es que de esas 20 personas que habéis patrocinado, de 2 a 4 llegarán a ser grandes, que no van a ser sencillamente diamantes, pero pueden ser blue, crown, van a ser algo muy, muy grande.
Here's the challenge. Most people think the first 2 to 4 they're going to sign up are going to be the ones that are going to build big. That never has happened, ever, 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 okay? So stop fooling yourself.
Esto es la cosa curiosa, es que las personas se piensan que de las primeras 4 personas que van a registrar, estas 4 llegarán a ser los grandes, pero eso no es totalmente verdad, no es así.
Okay, and so again, 6 to 8 are going to quit, 6 to 8 are going to incubate, 6 to 8 are going to start engaging and building, and 2 to 4 are going to grow big, but you've got to do the numbers to get to those 2 to 4.
Y entonces esto es, o sea que de estas 20 personas, de 6 a 8 lo van a dejar, de 6 a 8 van a incubar, de 6 a 8 se van a comprometer y de 2 a 4 llegarán a ser grandes, pero necesitáis todas las personas para llegar a encontrar los grandes.
So if you're serious about going diamond in 6 months, you've got to know the numbers, okay? So on each side, on the right side, 6 to 8 are going to quit, 6 to 8 are going to incubate, 6 to 8 are going to start building, and 2 to 4 are going to build big. On the left side, 6 to 8 are going to quit, 6 to 8 are going to incubate, 6 to 8 are going to engage, and 2 to 4 are going to build big.
Y entonces, si de verdad queréis ser diamantes, tenéis que poner en vuestra mente absolutamente los números. Y entonces vais a patrocinar 20 personas en vuestro equipo izquierdo, de 6 a 8 no continuarán, de 6 a 8 incubarán, de 6 a 8 se comprometerán y de 2 a 4 llegarán a ser grandes. Lo mismo va a pasar en el equipo derecho, de 20 personas, de 6 a 8 no continuarán, de 6 a 8 incubarán, de 6 a 8 se comprometerán y de 2 a 4 llegarán a ser grandes.
So on a piece of paper, you want to put today's date down, and you want to write down the date that it's going to be in 6 months from today. And then you want to make a commitment to yourself that you're going to sponsor 20 new distributors on your right, 20 new distributors on your left, and follow this plan, even if you've already been in the business. But if you have not been in the business, if it's your first day today, follow the plan if you want to go diamond within a 6-month period. Part-time.
Lo que quiero ahora es que tenéis que escribir en un papel, en un papel la fecha que va a partir de hoy en 6 meses. Que sois ya distribuidores o que sois nuevos, tenéis que tener a mente este plano, esta fórmula de cómo hacer a llegar a ser diamante. O sea que tenéis que patrocinar 20 personas a la derecha y 20 a la izquierda con esos números.
Okay. Next slide. This is a picture. I wanted you to see what the unilevel looks like, where the dual team is your new business. So all the new business down to infinity in your organization comes through the dual team. But this picture is showing you what your unilevel looks like. That means all the repeat business month after month after month.
Y esta imagen es lo que os muestra que es el unilevel. O sea, el dual team es el nuevo business, es todo lo que viene de nuevo, mientras el unilevel es el business que se repite. Mes cada mes es todo lo que es constante.
Okay. And so what you want to look at, in this example, that's you at the top, and these are the first 11 people, as a hypothetical example, that you sponsored, and then they started sponsoring people, and they started sponsoring people, but you can see what the unilevel or the repeat business looks like.
En esta imagen, esto que os muestra el unilevel, que es el negocio repetido, estás tú, que es el primer círculo, y luego las 11 personas que supuestamente has patrocinado y todas las personas que estas personas han patrocinado a la vez.
Another way to look at it is the dual team is the fast income, but the unilevel is the big, big income.
Otra manera de leer esta cosa es que el dual team es el dinero rápido, es ganar dinero rápido, mientras el unilevel es el gran dinero, es la cantidad, que es mucho más.
Awesome. Now, it's important as we lay the foundation, as I get into the strategy of how to go diamond in 6 months, it's important that you understand the leadership ranks and how they work. And so we have many, many ranks in Organo, but I want to focus tonight from Sapphire, Ruby, Emerald, and Diamond. That's where the focus is going to be, okay? There's many other positions in Organo, but this is where I'm going to focus so that you understand how it works.
Entonces, para llegar a ser diamantes, tenéis que entender también cuáles son las calificas importantes de la compañía. Tiene muchas, pero esta noche yo quiero focalizarme sobre las principales, que son los zafiro, el rubí y el esmeralda y el diamante, obviamente.
Okay, we also have other positions that are higher, the elite diamonds, but we're not even going to talk about that tonight. We're just going to focus on these leadership ranks.
Tenemos también calificas que son mayores del diamante, que son la Diamond Elite, pero esta noche yo me quiero focalizar en estas exclusivas, hasta el diamante.
Okay, also, you're going to notice that tonight 80% of our time is going to be spent on sapphire. Once you understand sapphire, the ruby is easy, the emerald is easy, the diamond is easy, but if you don't understand sapphire, you can forget about ruby, emerald, and diamond.
Entonces iráis a ver en esa noche que el 80% del tiempo hablaremos sobre el zafiro. Una vez que habéis entendido bien cómo funciona el zafiro, y el rubí y el esmeralda van a ser muy sencillos, pero si no entendéis el zafiro, no vais a entender tampoco los otros.
Okay, so the sapphire, basically very, very simple. You personally sponsor 2 consultants on the right hand, and you personally sponsor 2 qualified consultants on the left. So that's what the 2 and 2 means. 2 personally qualified consultants on the right, 2 personally qualified consultants on the left. Now, you know what a consultant is. We just went over that. So you personally sponsor 2 on the right, 2 on the left, and you put the appropriate volume of 14,000 in a calendar month, and you would be a qualified sapphire.
Entonces, para llegar a ese zafiro, lo que tenéis que hacer es patrocinar personalmente 2 consultores activos, 2 a la derecha y 2 a la izquierda, por esto está escrito 2 y 2, y sabéis ya qué es el consultor, lo que hemos visto antes, y más que eso, tenéis que alcanzar 14,000 puntos de volumen para llegar a ser zafiro. Eso
So
es.
you must personally sponsor 2 qualified consultants on the right, 2 qualified consultants on the left.
Y entonces tenéis que patrocinar 2 consultores calificados a la derecha y 2 consultores calificados a la izquierda.
You can have $100,000 in volume and have 10 personally sponsored consultants on the right and 1 personally sponsored consultants on the left. You would not be qualified even a sapphire.
Podéis tener 100,000 puntos de volumen y tener 10 consultores directamente patrocinados a la derecha y 1 directamente patrocinado a la izquierda, y así no vais a ser zafiros.
Okay, and so the minimum qualifications for the structure. Okay, we're going to talk a lot about structure tonight. So the minimum qualifications for your structure is 2 personally sponsored on the right, 2 personally sponsored on the left. If you understand that very clear, okay, very clear, then just put C in the chat.
Y entonces la califica mínima para vuestra estructura tiene que ser esta, para tener 2 consultores a la izquierda y 2 consultores calificados a la derecha. Si habéis entendido esto, por favor ponéis sí en el chat.
Even the guests that are just joining us for the first time, they can even understand, okay, we talked about what a consultant is, and now you personally sponsor 2 of them on the right minimum, 2 of them on the left minimum, with a total volume of 14,000, you'd be a qualified sapphire. Excellent.
También para las personas que son huésped aquí, que es la primera vez que escuchan la llamada, como hemos visto que es un consultor, una vez que sabéis que es el consultor y vais a tener 2 consultores calificados directamente patrocinados a la izquierda y 2 a la derecha, con un volumen de 14,000 puntos, así vais a ser zafiros.
Awesome. So we spent a lot of time here talking about sapphire, but watch this. Watch how simple it is now to go to ruby and emerald and even diamond once you understand sapphire. The ruby is very simple. Now it's the minimum of 3 personally sponsored consultants on the right, minimum of 3 personally sponsored consultants on the left side, and you're doing 40,000 points, and now you're a ruby, okay? But without those 3 and 3, you would not be qualified regardless of the volume.
Y entonces, ahora que hemos visto cómo llegar a ser zafiro, vais a ver cuánto es simple entender lo que es rubí, esmeralda y diamante. Por ejemplo, para ser rubí, en lugar que 2 y 2, tenéis que tener 3 consultores directamente patrocinados en vuestro equipo izquierdo y 3 consultores directamente patrocinados en vuestro equipo derecho y tener 40.000 puntos volumen.
Okay, and then again, that's the ruby. The emerald is this. Now you understand sapphire and ruby. Emerald, it's 4 and 4. Minimum of 4 on the right, minimum of 4 on the left. A total of 80,000 volume, and you are now an emerald running $1 million business.
Y la misma cosa es para el emerald. El esmeralda, en lugar que 2 y 2 y 3 y 3, tiene que tener 4 consultores directamente patrocinados a la izquierda, 4 consultores directamente patrocinados a la derecha, con 80.000 puntos volumen, y eso va a tener un business de $1 millón.
And so to get to diamond in 6 months, okay, to get in any time, doesn't even have to be 6 months. You can do it sooner, you can do it later. It doesn't matter. But to get to diamond, you've got to have a minimum of 5 personally sponsored consultants on the right, minimum of 5 personally consultants on the left, and a total of 200,000 points. And congratulations, you have become the next OG diamond. And tonight, on tonight's call, I want to show you how to do that within a 6-month period.
Entonces, para llegar a ser diamantes, podéis hacerlo en 6 meses o incluso antes, en cuanto podáis. Tenéis que tener 5 consultores directamente patrocinados a la izquierda y 5 consultores directamente patrocinados a la derecha y tener un volumen de por lo menos 200.000 puntos. Y entonces, hoy, esta noche, os voy a explicar cómo llegar a ser diamantes en 6 meses.
If you want to grow big, if you want to grow fast, become a master at not only becoming a qualified sapphire, but to teach new distributors how to get to become sapphires, how to have this structure. So focus on your structure, not just the volume.
Y entonces, para llegar a ser diamantes, tenéis que focalizarlos y llegar a ser maestros en eso. O sea, tenéis que enseñar a las personas cómo llegar a ser zafiros ellos mismos. Para tener, entonces, focalizaros en la estructura.
If you want to become a diamond in 6 months, focus on developing, become a sapphire producing machine.
Tenéis que focalizarlos para llegar a ser diamantes en 6 meses, en producir zafiros como una máquina.
Excellent. Okay, so here we are. I wanted to bring up, because everyone sees the 40% rule, I just want to explain it very simple what the 40% rule means.
Ahora solo quiero explicar sencillamente la regla del 40%, lo que significa.
Okay, very simple, but important. Okay, so let's say this is a hypothetical example of this is the people that you sponsored. There's the first person, the second person, the third person, the fourth person, and then there's the 11th person at the end. No more than 40% of the total volume of your total volume can come from any one personally sponsored distributor.
Entonces, eso es la estructura. Estás tú, está la primera persona que has patrocinado, la segunda, la tercera, hasta las 11. Y entonces, el volumen que tú generas no puede venir, ese volumen, más del 40% de una misma pierna.
Excellent. Okay, pretty simple. So in other words, if you sponsored 20 people, but one of the persons doing 60% of the 21's doing 60% of your volume, you'll still get paid, but we're not going to rank advance you if more than 40% of your total volume is coming from one person or one person's group.
Entonces, si una persona que tú has patrocinado y su grupo genera el 60% de tu volumen, vas a ser pagado, pero no vas a alcanzar el rango X que sería, porque no más del 40% tiene que provenir desde una persona y su grupo que tú has personalmente patrocinado.
Okay, great. And now, if you're serious, okay, about going diamond, okay, you want to make sure that your calendar is your best friend. Your best friend becomes your calendar. But I want to show you in the 6-month plan that you must become a sapphire within 60 days. So make a decision. 60 days, I'm going to give you the formula on how to go sapphire in 60 days. And I want you to master that formula.
Entonces, si queréis de verdad llegar a ser diamantes en 6 meses, tienes que comprometerte en convertirte en zafiros en 60 días. Y en ese caso, tu calendario será tu mejor amigo. Y ahora os
You've,
voy a ver cómo se hace.
you've got to have a calendar. If you don't have a calendar, you're playing a game. You need to have a calendar, and I'm going to show you. If you don't have one, don't worry. Grab a pen and piece of paper. I'm going to show you how to build one.
Tenéis que tener un calendario porque esto es muy importante. Si no tenéis un calendario ahora mismo, pues hacéis con una hoja de papel y un bolígrafo y ahora os voy a hacer ver cómo se hace.
This is a formula, and this is what your calendar should look like. It should be a month at a glance. You should be looking at a month at a glance.
Entonces, esto es como vuestro calendario tendría que aparecer. Así, así exactamente.
Okay, the number 5 and 1,000 is going to become very important. So write those numbers down, 5 and 1,000. It's going to become important when I show you the formula.
El número 5 y 1000 van a ser números muy importantes. Entonces, apuntarlos porque os voy a explicar luego a qué se refieren.
The step number 1 that I want you to be thinking about, it's a little different than what you've been thinking in the past, but always, always, always be planning 1 month in advance. Always be planning 1 month in advance.
Siempre tenéis que planear las cosas con un mes de antelación. Siempre. Que es un poco diferente de lo que pensabais antes, pero siempre planeáis con un mes de antelación.
Amateurs always plan, the day. They're planning their day. Amateurs plan the day. What am I going to do today to build my business? Professionals are always planning 1 month in advance, and super duper professionals are planning many, many, many years in advance.
Los principiantes suelen planear diariamente, o sea, cada día planean. Los profesionales planean mensualmente, o sea, cada mes. Y los súper profesionales igual planean con muchos meses, años en antelación.
Okay. And so, for example, your company, Organo, is planning 3 years in advance. Okay. We used to be planning every day, try to figure out how we're going to make money today. But right now, we're planning 3 years in advance.
Como la compañía Organo, vuestra compañía, solía planear cada día y ahora nosotros planeamos con 3 años en antelación.
Okay, but when you look at this calendar, I want you to see the words December, not November. November's gone. Okay, we're in November right now. I want you to be planning December, always 1 month in advance.
Ahora que tenéis ese calendario, yo quiero que empecéis a planear diciembre, porque ahora estamos en noviembre, entonces tenéis que planear el mes siguiente, que es diciembre.
Organo has a calendar, but if you don't have the Organo calendar, you can go buy one for €5 or maybe €10. You can buy a nice month at a glance calendar, or you can draw one on your computer and just have these sheets of paper as long as you're looking at your business 1 month in advance, minimum.
Dice, Organo tiene el calendario, pero si no tenéis uno, podéis irla a comprar por 5 o 10 euros o igual lo podéis dibujar vosotros. El importante es que sea mensual, una planificación mensual.
With a calendar, I can predict your income.
Con ese calendario, yo puedo saber lo que vais a ganar.
Send me a copy of your calendar and I can predict exactly how much money you're making. If it looks like this, blank, nothing going on, you're making zero money.
Si me mandáis una copia de vuestro calendario, yo os puedo decir exactamente cuánto vais a ganar. Si me mandáis una copia de un calendario así que está vacía, eso va a ser cero dinero.
Okay. Look at our top producers in Organo. Their calendars are packed out. Everything is busy, busy, busy. They're packed out, right? That's a clue.
Los de Organo que producen más tienen el calendario que está súper lleno y es por eso que ganan mucho.
Okay, so the 3 things you want to write down, grab a pen, piece of paper, and you don't want to get these messed up. The first thing you're going to do is you take your calendar and take your personal and spiritual time and you take it off the calendar, meaning that time is not available. And I'll go over this in detail.
Entonces, tenéis que apuntar esto, que es muy importante. La primera cosa que tenéis que hacer con vuestro calendario es quitar fuera el tiempo que queréis gastar con vuestra familia y vuestras cosas personales, y entonces es el tiempo que no va a ser disponible para el trabajo.
Okay, so personal, basically, I mean, if you go to the gym, or if you like to go for walks, or if you like to exercise, or if you like to meditate, you know, these are personal things. You're gonna take that time and remove it from the calendar, and you can remove it from the calendar a month, and 2 months, and 3 months, and 4 months, and 5 months in advance.
Y entonces la primera cosa que tenéis que hacer, si os gusta ir al gimnasio, si os gusta meditar, que son las cosas personales, tenéis que quitar del calendario estas cosas y lo podéis hacer con 1, 2, 3 o 4 meses de antelación.
We have now 52 countries and many, many, many different religions all over the world. So religions there's many, many different types of religions. And so depending on your own spiritual beliefs, you can take your calendar and say, okay, at this particular time, I'm not available because that's my religious time. That's my spiritual time. And you remove it from the calendar. Okay.
Y como estamos abiertos ahora en 52 países y cada país diferente en el mundo tiene una religión diferente, cada persona puede tener un credo espiritual diferente. Entonces podéis quitar del calendario la parte que para religión o lo que sea no podéis dedicarlo al business.
Okay. The next thing you want to do is you want to take your family time. If you have children or a husband or a wife or a boyfriend or a girlfriend, the family time, and you want to remove it from your calendar. And you can do that again a month or 2 months or 3 months or 6 months in advance, where you select the time that you want to spend with your family. Take it off the calendar.
La segunda cosa muy importante es que tenéis que quitar del calendario el tiempo que queréis gastar con vuestra familia. Si tenéis hijos o un esposo, una esposa, una pareja, o sea, quitar del calendario todo el tiempo que queréis gastar con ellos.
Okay. And finally, you want to take everything else, and that becomes your wealth building time. What a concept to actually take wealth building. So once you've removed your personal and spiritual, you've taken your family time off the calendar, then everything else is available. You can call it your wealth building time.
Y entonces, una vez que habéis quitado de vuestro calendario el tiempo que queréis pasar para vuestros intereses personales y espirituales y pasar con la familia, todo lo que se queda es el tiempo que podéis dedicar al negocio.
Okay. I'm just getting messages now. I'm sorry, Sarah, that we've just completely maxed out the event. And so there's a lot of distributors that could not get onto this call. So we will, I hope we have it recorded, so maybe we can send out the broadcast.
Oh, yes, definitely. Dice Shane que está recibiendo muchos mensajes de personas que no se pudieron conectar a la llamada y que si vamos a tener la registración de la llamada, se puede hacer un broadcast con esa.
Okay, and we'll be doing other calls in the future, so don't worry about that. So thank God you got on, but don't get off the call because someone else will take your seat very fast.
Dice que igual vamos a repetir las calls en el futuro y que no os vais de la call porque si os vais, alguien va a recoger vuestro sitio.
Okay, so here's the next thing. There's the calendar, that's what it looks like, but I'll give you an example of this is what you would cross off. For example, you've got some spiritual time or personal time, you've got family time, you've got your other times that you remove from the calendar. So this is what it would look like. So you want to remove your spiritual and your personal and your family time off the calendar before you start inputting your wealth building time.
Entonces, esto es un ejemplo de cómo podría aparecer una página de calendario cuando quitáis de ese calendario el tiempo que queréis dedicar a la familia, a las cosas espirituales y personales. Y entonces, antes tenéis que quitar eso y luego planear lo que es el tiempo de dedicar a vuestro negocio.
When you add in your wealth building time, look at this, you put circles in just like this.
Entonces, cuando queréis añadir el tiempo para el negocio, tenéis que poner círculos. Esto es el tiempo que podéis dedicar a vuestro bienestar.
So what that means is that you put your wealth building time. So for example, someone says, I need you to get on a webinar, or I need you to come and do a CJM, a coffee jazz mixer, or I need you to introduce someone, and you have time available. That's where you schedule your time.
Entonces, en este círculos es lo que podéis planear para hacer un webinar o un coffee jazz mixer o tener que encontrar a alguien. Entonces, estos círculos son el tiempo donde podéis poner estas cosas, el tiempo disponible.
Your goal is to fill out all of your wealth building time. Your goal is to get those meetings booked. If you have time available, you book it. If someone says, I need your help, and you look at your calendar and your calendar says, yes, I'm free, book it.
Entonces, vuestro objetivo es llenar todos estos círculos con cuantas cosas posibles relacionadas a vuestro negocio. Entonces, una vez que lo tenéis lleno, cuando algo está disponible, lo podéis reservar para el negocio, para encuentros o lo que sea.
Is asking you to do a meeting and it's your spiritual time, or if it's your personal time, or if it's your family time, the answer is always no.
Pero si alguien os va a preguntar si podéis tener un encuentro durante vuestro tiempo personal o espiritual o familiar, la respuesta tiene que ser siempre no.
Okay, and then you tell them what time you're available for wealth building, and then that's what you book.
Entonces, y luego les vais a decir cuándo vais a estar disponibles para el negocio y es lo que vais a reservar.
We're going to launch with the 2-month plan on how to go Sapphire in 2 months. Okay, this is what I want to spend the time on tonight, is how to go. Once you understand how to go Sapphire in 2 months, the rest, the ruby, the emerald, the diamond, is much more simple to understand.
En lo que me quería concentrar es cómo llegar a ser zafiros en 2 meses, porque una vez que entendéis cómo llegar a ser zafiros en 2 meses, cómo llegar a ser rubí o esmeralda viene automáticamente.
Okay, here's your formula. Okay, in the first month, okay, you're going to do a minimum of 4 OG mixers in the month. Okay, if it's your first month getting started with Organo, you don't know anything about how to do a mixer. You don't know anything. So you're going to, your first month, you're going to commit to doing 1 mixer a week or participate in 1 mixer a week, and your sponsor is going to help you. Okay, I'm going to show you the formula to go Sapphire in 2 months.
Esa entonces es la fórmula. En vuestro primer mes, que sois nuevos y no sabéis igual bien cómo funciona, tenéis que tener un mínimo de 4 OG mixers, que serían 1 a la semana. Si no sabéis cómo hacerlo, pedís ayuda al sponsor que os ayudará.
You invite a minimum of 5 to 10 prospects. Okay, there's your 5. The number 5 is a minimum of 5, but around 5 to 10 is perfect for an OG mixer.
Y tenéis que hacer otra cosa, o sea, invitar un mínimo de 5 a 10 candidatos por OG Mixer, y esto es el 5, el número que habéis visto antes, un mínimo de 5 hasta 10 candidatos.
Your goal per mixer is to do a minimum of 1,000 points, okay? Your goal is to do a minimum of 1,000 points.
Y vuestro objetivo para cada OG Mixer tiene que ser 1,000 puntos.
Okay, you can
O
get
sea, la meta
if someone, yeah, one person buys a gold, that's more than 1,000 points. If 2 people buy silver, that's more than 1,000 points. If 5 people purchase a bronze, that's more than 1,000 points. Okay, I hope you get the idea.
Eso de los 1,000 puntos es que si una persona os va a comprar un paquete oro, eso va a ser más que 1,000 puntos. Si una persona os va a comprar el silver, va a ser más que 1,000 puntos. Y si 5 personas compran un paquete bronce, eso también va a ser más que 1,000 puntos.
Okay, so if you're in a mixer, for example, and someone on your team invites someone and they purchase a gold, that counts.
Y entonces, si vais a estar en un mixer y algunas personas en vuestro team invitan a alguien que compra un paquete oro, esto es el objetivo, está alcanzado, está bien.
Okay, so your first month doing 4 mixers with your goal of 1,000. Sometimes you're going to do 200 in a mixer, but sometimes I just had one the other night. Their first mixer, they did 9,000 points.
Y entonces, por cada mixer, los 4 OG Mixer al mes, podéis tener un mínimo de 4,000 puntos, y por cada mixer igual tenéis 1,000 puntos, pero también conozco personas que al primer mixer han hecho 9,000 puntos.
Okay, hope this is making sense to everyone here, but this is the formula, so make sure you write it down. And this is the month 1 formula. Month 2 formula is going to change a little bit, okay? So just make sure this is for a brand new person getting started. they commit to 1 CJM a week, okay, for their first month. And this is the formula for their first month. So at the end of the month, they're going to have, in their first month, should have about 4,000 CV.
Y entonces esta es la fórmula y quiero que la vais apuntando bien en el papel del primer mes, que sería un mínimo de 4 OG Mixer y generar un volumen de 4.000 puntos al mes. Luego el mes siguiente, el mes 2, lo vamos a ver también. Pero esto es el mes 1.
Okay, great. So here's what it would look like. Here's Bob, for example, that like, I'll use me as an example. If I sponsor Bob, okay, I would say to Bob, is Tuesday or Tuesday better for you?
Eso es otro ejemplo del calendario. Por ejemplo, digamos que yo voy a patrocinar Bob. Yo le voy a preguntar a Bob, Bob, ¿tú qué prefieres, el martes o el martes para quedar?
It's my calendar, it's my time. So if I'm going to work with Bob, I'm going to decide the time, not Bob. I'm deciding I'm going to work with you. So I'm going to make a commitment to Bob because I'm sponsoring Bob. I'm going to make a commitment to Bob for 4 Tuesdays in a row. I put his name in my calendar. That's what I'm going to work with.
Entonces, como esto es mi calendario, yo voy a decidir cómo organizar el tiempo. Si yo voy a patrocinar Bob, es mi decisión poner Bob cada martes por 4 martes enseguida.
Watch what happens here on this, okay? So there's my calendar. I put Bob's name in. And on the first meeting, Bob signs up Sue. So the second week, I'm still working with Bob, but Bob and I are going to help Sue at her CJM, at her mixer.
Entonces, mirad lo que pasa. Digamos que yo he patrocinado Bob y Bob en su primer mixer ha patrocinado Sue y entonces el siguiente martes yo y Bob vamos a ayudar a Sue a hacer su meeting.
You see, the thing of this with the mixers is that you're either organizing or participating in the mixer. So if Bob is participating in Sue, which is his distributor, that counts as a mixer, okay, his second week.
Entonces, en cada mixer tú puedes ser lo que lo organiza o los que participa. Si Bob va a participar al mixer de Sue, eso también cuenta como mixer porque él participa.
And every week I would do the presentation for Bob the first week, and the second week Bob does a little bit. The third week, Sue had sponsored Lee at her mixer, so Bob, Sue, and myself are going to go help Lee launch their mixer.
Entonces, yo he patrocinado Bob a mi mixer, cuando Bob ha patrocinado Sue y ha participado a su mixer, y al tercero Sue ha patrocinado Lee, y entonces al mixer de Lee vamos Bob, yo y Sue.
Okay, and finally the fourth week, Lee and his mixer sponsored Tim, and so Bob, Sue, and Lee and myself were going to help Tim launch his mixer. Of course, Bob can bring guests. Of course, Sue can bring guests to his mixer. Of course, Lee's going to bring guests to Tim's mixer, and then Tim's going to have his guests. So by the fourth week, the mixers are getting quite large.
Y entonces lo que pasa es que la cuarta semana Lee va a patrocinar Tim. Y entonces en esa semana yo, Bob, Sue y Lee vamos a ayudar a Tim a hacer su mixer y cada uno de nosotros puede llevar gente, así que ese mixer va a ser mucho más grande.
Okay, and you can see here that Bob sponsored Sue and Sue sponsored Lee and Lee sponsored Tim. That's an example.
Y eso es un ejemplo de cómo Bob va a patrocinar Sue, que va a patrocinar Lee y que a la vez va a patrocinar Tim.
Okay, and so the first month, the goal is 4,000 points.
Y entonces el primer mes el objetivo es 1.000 puntos, 4.000 puntos.
Very good. I hope this is making sense to everyone. Yeah.
Espero que esto tenga sentido.
Yeah, the second month, here's the formula. It changes a little bit. Now Bob has been to 4 or 5 mixers. He understands how to push play on the DVD. He understands how to do the flip chart. He understands, you know, how simple this business is, how to boil water and how to mix coffee. He understands that. So the second month, Bob is ready now to go on his own without my help and to start doing his own mixers and start helping his own team grow their businesses.
Entonces, lo que pasa en el segundo mes es que Bob ya ha participado a 4 mixers y ahora Bob sabe perfectamente cómo poner un DVD, cómo funciona la flip chart, cómo poner agua caliente y entonces Bob ahora no le hace falta más mi ayuda, pero él puede desarrollar sus mixers con su propio team.
So the second month, Bob's formula changes to 4 mixers per week. Okay, 4 mixers per week.
Y entonces el mes número 2, el segundo mes, la fórmula de Bob va a cambiar porque él tiene que hacer un mínimo de 4 mixers a la semana.
Okay, 4 a week.
4 a la semana.
Okay, not 4 in a month, 4 a week.
O sea, no 4 al mes, pero 4 a la semana.
Okay, and now the formula still stays the same in terms of your per mixer. We want to have a minimum of 5, maximum of 10. And that is the sweet spot for the mixers. It's the best amount of people to have for your mixers. We're still wanting to do 1,000 points. Okay, we're still wanting to do 1,000 points. And now we're doing 4,000 points per week. And so the total would be 16,000 points for the month, which well qualifies you as a Sapphire.
Y entonces lo que pasa es que luego la fórmula se queda lo mismo porque siempre hay que invitar a un mínimo de 5 a 10 candidatos por mixer. Siempre el objetivo es generar 1.000 puntos por mixer y entonces, pero en ese caso, como tenemos que hacer 4 mixer a la semana, los puntos total en el segundo mes van a ser 16.000, que os califica como zafiro.
Okay, but this is all structured in your calendar. The calendar is your best friend. If you have a handle on your calendar, it will make this process much, much more simple for you.
Pero esto es todo lo en el que se basa el calendario, que es la base de de esta fórmula. Está todo allí, está todo planeado.
Here's an example. For example, when I was working with Bob on Tuesdays, I was working with Ron's team on Wednesdays. I was working with Tom's team on Thursdays. I was working with, Joe's team on Saturdays. But this is how the calendar takes shape.
Entonces, esto es otro ejemplo, porque en ese caso podéis ver que mientras trabajaba con Bob el martes, el miércoles trabajaba con Ron, el jueves con Tom y el sábado con Joe. Y es como así el calendario se toma la forma.
Okay, if everyone understands the formula on how to get to Sapphire in 2 months, if everyone from 0 to Sapphire in 2 months, if everyone understands the formula, just write C.
Si todo el mundo está entendiendo cómo llegar a ser zafiro en 2 meses, si ha entendido la fórmula, por favor, vais a escribir sí en la chat.
Okay, lots of C's. So people understand how to add the formula now. It's such a breakthrough, but the key is you've got to have a calendar to be able to track. And with a calendar, you can predict your income. If you have a calendar, you can make a prediction on how much money you're going to make.
Entonces es muy bueno que todo el mundo esté entendiendo la fórmula, pero el secreto, la llave es que vosotros tengáis un calendario, porque el calendario os va a decir exactamente cuánto vais a ganar.
Okay, so we got everybody says yes, yes, and there's one person from the United Kingdom that says no. Okay, that they still don't understand it. That's okay. It'll come to you. Join us on the next call. I just went over the formula step by step by step, but on the next call, listen to it or listen to the replay over and over, and it'll come to you. Some people wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning and they figure this out. It's so simple. It's not complicated.
Ahí dice una persona desde Reino Unido que dice que no la ha entendido, pero él le sugiere de escuchar a la próxima llamada o volver a escucharla. Hay gente que lo entiende a las 3 de la noche.
But focus on Sapphire, and I'm going to show you the rest of the plan. But once you understand, okay, I got the formula for Sapphire, the rest of it is going to be much, much more simple for you to achieve the possibilities of going to Ruby, to Emerald, and to Diamond.
Tenéis que focalizaros exactamente en cuál es la fórmula y entender la fórmula para llegar a ser zafiro, porque una vez que la habéis entendida, va a ser mucho más fácil alcanzar también los otros rangos como Ruby y Esmeralda.
Watch this. If you are a Sapphire, okay, and you help any 3 people qualify as Sapphire, one over here, because this guy quit, and this guy's incubating, and this guy quit, and this guy's, doing whatever, and he's growing. And so you got 1, 2, and 3 Sapphires, and you are a Sapphire with 3 Sapphires anywhere in any 3 separate legs, you will be a Ruby, earning a full-time income.
Entonces, la cosa es que si vais a tener 3 zafiros en cualquier de las piernas que tenéis, de vuestras piernas directas, vais a llegar a ser Ruby con un ingreso de dinero que es de un trabajo de tiempo lleno.
They do not have to be personally sponsored as long as they're in 3 separate organizations. And this is one example of how to get to Ruby. But if you're a Sapphire, go find 3 people that want to go Sapphire and show them your formula on how you went Sapphire with 3 qualified Sapphires. You're automatic Ruby. Okay, automatic.
Entonces, estas 3 zafiros no tienen que ser directamente patrocinados por vosotros, solo tienen que hacer parte de vuestras organizaciones. Y entonces, si sois zafiros calificados y vais a encontrar en vuestras estructuras 3 personas a las que podéis enseñar la fórmula, vais a ser automáticamente Ruby.
Wow. And again, this is just an amazing. So look how much time we spent on showing you the formula for Sapphire, but here's how to get Ruby. Show 3 people how to go Sapphire. Training over, you're Ruby.
Entonces, hemos gastado mucho tiempo en explicar la fórmula para cómo llegar a ser zafiro, pero es por eso, porque luego, si vais a encontrar 3 personas las que entienden cómo llegar a ser zafiro también, vosotros vais a ser Ruby automáticamente.
This is not the only way to go Ruby, but it's the easiest way that I can explain. Go Sapphire, then teach 3 people how to go Sapphire. Everybody's qualified as Sapphire minimum, you're Ruby.
Entonces, esta no es la única manera de llegar a ser Ruby, pero esta es la manera más sencilla con la que os puedo explicar. O sea, vais a ser zafiros y luego vais a enseñar a 3 personas de vuestras organizaciones cómo ser zafiro también y automáticamente vais a ser Ruby.
So first step, master Sapphire and become a Sapphire. Next step, teach 3, minimum of 3 to go Sapphire, you're Ruby.
Entonces, el primer paso es entender cómo llegar a ser zafiro y enseñarlo a los otros y luego encontrar 3 personas a la que explicarles cómo también llegar a ser zafiro y en automático vais a ser Ruby.
Okay, next slide. Here's Emerald, okay? You have the 3 Sapphires, but 1 Ruby. So you're a Ruby. Now you're a Ruby. Okay, here's how to go Emerald. You become a Ruby. And you teach 1 person how to go Ruby, and you keep your 3 Sapphires. You're an Emerald and running $1 million business.
Entonces, esto es el siguiente, o sea, tú eres Ruby y tienes también los 3 zafiros que hemos visto antes. Si tú enseñas a otra persona de tus estructuras cómo llegar a ser Ruby, vais a ser automáticamente una esmeralda que puede tener un business de $1 millón.
Okay, so go Ruby, teach 1 to go Ruby, and keep your 3 Sapphires. You are now an Emerald. That's amazing.
Entonces, llega a ser Ruby, enséñale a otra persona cómo llegar a ser Ruby, quédate con los 3 zafiros y automáticamente tú vas a ser esmeralda.
Okay, now Diamond. This is what you want to do in 6 months, is that you're now an Emerald. Okay, now you're an Emerald, step 1, and you've got 1 Ruby, 2 Rubies, 3 Rubies, okay, and 1 Emerald. So once you're an Emerald, you teach 1 to go Emerald, just like you, and 3 Rubies, and this is just one way to go Diamond, but it's the easiest way I know to go Diamond.
Entonces, esta es la manera para llegar a ser diamante, o sea, tú eres esmeralda. En tu estructura tienes una esmeralda, le vas a enseñar cómo llegar a ser esmeralda y tienes los 3 rubí, automáticamente tú llegas a ser diamante. Esta es la vía más sencilla para explicarte cómo funciona esto, cómo llegar a ser diamante.
None of these emeralds, or nor the rubies, or none of the sapphires, none of them have to be personally sponsored. It could be that you sponsored someone who sponsored someone who sponsored someone, and there's your sapphire. And then you sponsored someone who sponsored someone, and there's your ruby, you know? So it doesn't have to be personally sponsored.
Estas personas que están ahí, los rubis y las esmeraldas, no tienen que ser personalmente patrocinado por vosotros. Es alguien que tú has patrocinado y a la vez ha patrocinado a alguien más y estas personas no son patrocinadas directamente por ti, pero hacen parte de tu estructura.
Keep your business simple. Do not complicate your business.
Tenéis que mantener vuestro negocio sencillo, no tenéis que complicarlo.
Remember, our goal is to capture 1% of the market in each country that we attend.
Tenéis que tener a la mente que nuestro objetivo es capturar el 1% del mercado en cada país donde estamos abiertos.
I want to thank Sarah for her translation. This meeting would not be the same in Spanish if I didn't have a translator, so thank you so much for everything you do for Organo, Sarah.
Thank you, Shane. Me da las gracias para la traducción, que dice que si no el training no hubiera sido lo mismo. It's a pleasure, Shane. Thanks to you.
Okay, awesome. So if you enjoyed this presentation, get back to corporate and tell them what you like best about it. If you want to have another event, if you want to have another specific training, let corporate know, and I'll look at my calendar and I'll determine when I can come and help you guys out. But I really appreciate you guys. Remember, it's easy, it's simple, it's coffee. Okay, yeah, grazie. Thank you.
Dice que si os ha gustado este training, tenéis que decirnos si queréis otro o lo que sea, y él mirará su calendario porque estará disponible a hacer otro. Y entonces de poneros en contacto con Corporate, con nosotros, para que nos digáis si os ha gustado y todo.
Thank you. Someone says more training. Just let corporate what you need training on, and we'll make the arrangements to make it happen. Thank you very much, everyone, and good night.
Muchas gracias a todos y buenas noches. Pues gracias a todos, entonces, gracias a Shane y gracias a todo el mundo que atendió esta llamada. Buenas noches a todos.